Looking at God's heart through the Bible, Genesis chapter 9, the verse 1, And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. After such a terrible catastrophe, we could understand the mindset and the fear of Noah and his family. We could not understand what will be the mental trauma through which they would have gone through by seeing all the things which were all destroyed completely, and the earth was almost desolate. So, in this situation, God really had a heart for Noah and his family and the future generation. So God said, not only said He blessed them, but we could see God making a covenant with them. Probably the uncertainty of the future would have made Noah with a fear of facing it. But God spoke to him. We could see in the Bible that God Himself came and make a covenant. And in the 9th verse and 8th verse, And God spake unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, And behold, I establish my covenant with you, and with your seed after you. Yes, even it was not pleasing to God to destroy His own creation, but the sin of the people brought such destruction upon themselves. God is not pleased to punish people without any cause, but their own sin came upon them and caused such a terrible thing. And so in this situation, God Himself came for a covenant. In the Bible, we could see the covenants and the great God with the weaker Noah and his family. He just establishes the covenant. So we could see God was talking with Noah and his people, and He just not only made the covenant, and He really, in order to make it to be firm and in such a way that they could see the reflection of God's covenant in the sky. Here we could see from the verse 8 itself, He started talking about covenant. And to make it so certain, in the 13th verse, I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of covenant between me and the earth. Yes, God set His bow as a token of covenant. It makes the covenant more stronger in the sense, every time when the rain showers, probably Noah and his family would have been the possibility of being afraid again, because it could happen the thing which happened in the past. So every time when the rain comes, when the showers are pouring, probably they could remember the covenant. They could think of the covenant of God. And to prove it, God has set the bow in the cloud. Dear people, what a great God. The great one makes a covenant with the poor one. So, in many of our afflictions and trials and difficulties, the promises of God are like covenants. So, to make it as a double sure, he established the bow. So, in the Bible also, whenever we face things that are to be afraid, or the things that are really fearful, God has established His covenant, the promises of God. The promises of God are in one way like the covenant of God. We could take hold of that and we could plead the promises of God to establish it to us. What a great God. The whole Bible, we could see a lot of promises. Man who is the weakest and so uncertain of the future, and in many ways fearful, God is so tender in making Himself available with the covenants and the promises. What a wonderful God He is. It's so amazing how He could deal with this poor man with such a tender mercy. Oh, let us believe Him. Let us hold on to His promises, the covenants, and plead for His mercy. I am sure He will never fail us. He is a God who is trustworthy. Faithful is the one who called us. May the Lord bless our lives with the abundance of His grace and mercy. And let us take hold of His promises and plead with Him for a greater blessing to be showered upon our lives. May the Lord bless His word to us. Amen.